Good morning, and you know what today is? Hump Day! Mike. So, one of the things about achievers, and if you're watching this, you're an achiever, only achievers would watch something like this, is achievers are great at beating themselves up and terrible at telling themselves that they actually did a good job. Achievers are awesome at saying, here's the areas where it wasn't perfect. Here's the areas where it didn't turn out the way that it should have turned out. Here's all of the things that I did wrong. But achievers don't take the time to take a look at all of the things that they did right. One of the great things to do is to do an inventory. And you could even do this going all the way back to your childhood. It's quite a powerful exercise, actually. But even if you just take a look, at the last couple of weeks, I'm sure that you've gone through and said, here's all the things that I've done wrong. I did this and I did this and this, this didn't turn out perfectly and this didn't turn out perfectly. When's the last time you went through and said, here's the list of things that I did right. Here's the list of things that worked out. Tony talks about that we have a highway to misery and a dirt road to happiness and freedom. And that's because we make it so difficult for us to feel like we're successful and everything has to happen perfectly. He tells a story about one of his first date with destinies where there was a person there who was very famous and very, very successful and successful in every way, not just, financially successful, although they were that. They had a great relationship with their spouse. They had a great relationship with their kids. He was in tremendous physical health. I mean, this person just really was on top of things with life. But when he was asked at Date with Destiny whether or not he was successful, his answer was no. To which the room was like, what are you talking about? You're not successful. Well, success for him. And then Tony asked, well, how do you know that you're not successful? And he gave his rules. Well, number one, I have to be 8% body fat, and I'm not 8%, I'm 10. And I have to make $4 million a year in salary, and I'm only making $2 million. And then Tony pointed out, well, wait a minute, last year you made like $20 million. And he said, well, that was stock options. That doesn't count. So this person had all of these rules set up so that he never felt successful. And, I think the reason achievers do this is because I think they feel like if they are successful or feel like they're successful, they're going to lose momentum and they're going to lose their drive and their hunger. But the opposite is true. When you start feeling successful, it actually accelerates the feeling of hunger and the feeling of drive. So take an opportunity today to go back and look at all of the things that you're doing right. And right doesn't mean that it has to be perfect. It's not perfection, it's progress. Wherever you made progress, then you did something correctly. You've done something right. That's an area where you're actually being successful because you're moving things in the right direction. And if it didn't go in the right direction, then you learned something which is still successful. So take the time to remember all the things that you're doing well, and we have to learn from the things that didn't turn out perfectly. We have to measure. We have to keep track of results so that we know if we're getting closer to our target or further away. But let's not beat ourselves up with it. Let's put away the stick and stop hitting ourselves in the head saying how terribly we did a million different things. We think it's going to motivate us, but the reality is it decelerates, not accelerates progress. What accelerates progress is when you get excited. And when you get excited is when you take a look at all the things that you have accomplished and how far you have come and how close you really are to living the life that you imagine if you aren't already doing that. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.